Mr. Yip Hon Weng.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, Singapore is a major transshipment hub. Post-pandemic, we expect the volume of imports and exports to increase substantially. This would correspondingly apply to the illegal wildlife trade. Southeast Asia is a hotspot for illegal wildlife trade. As such, we must stay vigilant and come down hard on illegal wildlife traders. The bill amendments are laudable improvements. However, I seek clarifications in several areas. First, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, illegal wildlife trade should be recognized as serious organized crime. Member Louis Ng raised this earlier as well. According to Interpol, wildlife crime is part of serious organized crime, which feeds into money laundering, tax evasion, and corruption. Many other countries, including Hong Kong and the European Union, have also treated illegal wildlife trade as such. In doing so, the relevant authorities are accorded greater enforcement powers to investigate illegal wildlife trade. This enables them to effectively track down the heads of syndicates through the money flows. Following the amendments, persons prosecuted under the Endangered Species Act, or ESA, would receive a maximum of 4 years prison sentence and a fine of up to $500,000. This is paltry compared to 66 million, the value of a single shipment of elephant ivory and pangolin scales intercepted in Singapore in 2019. I propose that the prison sentence should be raised to no less than 5 years for deterrence. The aggregate fine should be 3 times the market value of the goods, aligning it with the Customs Act. Second, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we must do more to investigate and conduct enforcement of illegal wildlife trade happening in the digital realm. The problem is getting more widespread. Only a week ago, you read in the media of local Telegram groups being blatantly used to buy and sell exotic pets. Is our police, NParks, or customs closely monitoring such groups? What is the possibility of identifying and arresting the perpetrators? Would the buyers be penalized if they transacted with the seller but do not yet have the animal in possession? Would sellers be prosecuted as a business or commercial entity, even if they are not registered as a business? It would also be pertinent to find out how such traders could still bring in this exotic wildlife. In recent years, Interpol updated its training syllabus to address ways to tackle digitally enabled wildlife trafficking. With increasing amounts of digital evidence recovered during wildlife crime investigations, digital forensics is high on the training agenda. The emphasis that Interpol places on such skills amongst their crime investigative professionals is a testament to how widespread and severe the online wildlife problem is. Besides social media platforms and messaging apps like Telegram, the dark web has also become an increasingly popular platform for wildlife trafficking syndicates to conduct their operations. Do our local NGOs and agencies have the capabilities, training, and resources to effectively track down these criminals in the digital realm? Third, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we need to hold online technology companies accountable for exposing wildlife crime and thwarting the sale of exotic pets online. The Digital Services Act by the European Parliament was recently amended to introduce new transparency requirements for companies that will make the detection of illegal wildlife products and law enforcement easier. It makes explicit reference to the illegal trade of animals in the definition of illegal content. In addition, it requires that service providers take quick and effective measures to remove illegal content from their services. This is to ensure that what is illegal offline is illegal online. Would the ministry look into adopting similar measures? Fourth, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the legislative treatment with regards to wildlife management and relevant laws should be more holistic. Presently, there are 2 acts covering wildlife, namely the Wildlife Act and the ESA. The ESA only covers animals listed under the CITES Convention. I believe there is scope to combine the two acts to remove existing overlaps, if any, and to streamline the clauses? Moreover, can we have the ESA expanded to cover more than just CITES animals? Lastly, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we must deter consumers from contributing to illegal wildlife trade. This should be done through public education and effective enforcement and heavier penalties for offenders. Government regulations prohibit the ownership of most species of wild animals as pets. Yet, as mentioned earlier, we have local Telegram channels with people selling and seeking out exotic animals. Even though NParks can enforce on buyers who have such wildlife in possession, we should perhaps consider indicating buying or looking to buy as an offence under the Act. This will deter consumption and widespread queries in these Telegram chat groups. Last month, a video of a woman carrying an endangered African crown crane in Singapore went viral. It was thought to be a runaway pet. This makes me question the severity of current penalties. Under the Wildlife Act, there's a maximum fine of $10,000 and/or imprisonment of up to 6 months for first-time offenders keeping prohibited wildlife as pets. Can the Minister share more about the enforcement of this law? How many were convicted? What were the penalties? How were they caught? Are there routine checks conducted for signs of illegally kept wildlife in potential areas such as landed estates? Are there people keeping certain exotic pets under a permit? If so, are routine visits conducted to ensure that the animal is still being responsibly housed and not used for breeding? Are vets required to make a report if they come across an exotic pet that is illegal or suspected to be procured through illegal means? Public education is imperative. We need to educate people on why they should not keep wildlife as pets. There have been several cases of wildlife being discreetly abandoned and released into our nature reserves. To create an effective public education program, we should obtain an understanding of the degree of public awareness about owning exotic pets in Singapore. Is it due to ignorance, an assumption that they make easy pets? Are consumers aware that releasing non-native wildlife into our forests and nature reserves upset our biodiversity and have adverse effects on our ecosystem? The adverse consequences of wildlife trade on public health deserves more prominence. Illegal wildlife trade fuels the spread of zoonotic diseases and pandemics. Some of the most common and deadliest human diseases are caused by bacteria and viruses of animal origin, including COVID-19. We have experienced firsthand the terrible consequences of a pandemic on lives and livelihoods. We must do everything within our means to stop or at least slow down the next one. In conclusion, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, Singapore must take firm action to abide by our international commitments and do right by international laws. The illegal wildlife trade is the fourth largest trade behind drugs, human trafficking, and counterfeiting. It also raises concern about future pandemics. I'm glad to know that we are actively contributing to CITES and the Interpol Wildlife Crime Working Group. I'm confident that we can do more to utilize our capabilities in this area. Ultimately, exotic pets and their byproducts are non-essential luxuries. Yet the market for such pointless indulgences is built at the expense of needless, immense suffering of living creatures. As Singapore moves towards a more compassionate and kinder society, we should not only encourage mutual care and concern amongst the people, but also speak up and do more for the voiceless. I support the amendments. Thank you.